Hello and welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into a powerful topic that can truly change the way you communicate. How to boost your English fluency through 3 simple actions: speaking, reading, and writing. Fluency in English isn't just about knowing big words or understanding grammar rules. It's about being able to express yourself clearly, confidently, and naturally. And the good news, you already have the tools, your voice, your eyes, and your pen. Speaking is one of the most important parts of learning English fluently. It's also one of the skills that many learners avoid, either because they feel shy, afraid of making mistakes, or unsure of how to start. But here's the truth. The more you speak, the better you get. Fluency doesn't come from memorizing vocabulary lists or studying grammar rules all day. It comes from using the language actively, and that means speaking it every single day. Many English learners wait until they feel ready to speak. They say, "I need to learn more first," or "My English isn't good enough yet." But waiting for perfection is the biggest trap. You won't magically wake up fluent one day. You become fluent by speaking, even when you're not sure of the right words or pronunciation. In fact, making mistakes is part of the learning process. Every time you try to speak and make a mistake, your brain is learning something new. So speak, even if you feel nervous, even if you feel silly. Confidence grows with practice. Start small. You don't have to jump into long conversations right away. You can begin by talking to yourself. Describe what you're doing throughout the day. For example, if you're cooking, say out loud, "I am cutting vegetables. Now I am boiling water. This is a tomato." It may feel strange at first, but this simple habit trains your brain to think in English. And thinking in English is a big step toward fluency. You're not just translating from your native language. You're starting to live in the language. Another great way to practice speaking is by recording yourself. Use your phone or any voice recording app. Choose a topic, maybe what you did today, your opinion on a movie, or your future plans, and talk for 1 or 2 minutes. Then listen back. Don't be too critical, but notice where you can improve. Are you speaking too slowly or too fast? Are there words you struggle to pronounce? Use this as a tool to track your progress. After a few weeks, you'll notice how much clearer and more natural your speaking becomes. If you can find a speaking partner, that's even better. This could be a friend, a classmate, or someone online who is also learning English, or already speaks it well. Don't worry about having perfect grammar during these conversations. Focus on communicating your thoughts clearly. Ask and answer questions, share ideas, or just chat about your day. The key is consistency. Speaking once a week is helpful, but speaking every day, even for a few minutes, is what builds fluency fast. Joining English-speaking communities online can also help. You can find language exchange partners through apps or websites where people are looking to practice with others. Some learners even join speaking clubs, group video chats, or discussion forums. The more you surround yourself with real conversation, the more natural your speaking will become. It's also helpful to repeat phrases and expressions you hear from native speakers. Watch videos, listen to podcasts, or follow dialogues in English TV shows or movies. Choose a short sentence or phrase and repeat it several times, trying to match the rhythm and intonation. This practice, called shadowing, helps train your mouth and ears to work together. Over time, you'll start to sound more fluent, and even your accent will improve. Finally, don't let fear hold you back. Everyone struggles in the beginning. Even native speakers make mistakes. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to be understood and to express yourself. With regular practice, your speaking will become smoother, more confident, and more automatic. Fluency is a journey, and speaking is the road that gets you there. Reading is one of the most powerful ways to improve your English fluency. It helps you absorb vocabulary, sentence structure, grammar, and even rhythm without memorizing long lists or doing boring exercises. When you read, your brain is exposed to how the language works naturally, in context. This silent, steady exposure helps you internalize patterns, phrases, and ways of thinking that are difficult to learn through study alone. Reading is not just about understanding words. It's about experiencing the language. To get the most benefit, choose reading materials that match your current level, but still offer a small challenge. If a text is too easy, you won't learn much. If it's too hard, you'll feel frustrated. Start with books or articles that you enjoy and that you can mostly understand, even if there are a few new words. You don't need to look up every unfamiliar word. In fact, constantly stopping to check the dictionary can interrupt your understanding and make the process tiring. Instead, try to guess the meaning from the context. Often, your brain will naturally learn the word after seeing it used several times in different situations. Try to build a daily reading habit, even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes. Consistency is more important than time. Reading a little every day is more effective than reading for hours once a week. When you read regularly, your vocabulary grows without effort. You start recognizing common expressions, collocations, and grammar patterns that appear again and again. You may not even realize how much you're learning, but over time, your reading will become faster and your understanding deeper. Different types of reading materials offer different benefits. Reading fiction, like novels or short stories, helps you follow conversations, emotions, and everyday situations. It also makes learning enjoyable, because you become emotionally connected to the characters and the story. Non-fiction, like news, articles, blogs, or educational texts, can improve your knowledge on different topics and introduce you to more formal or academic language. Reading dialogues, scripts, or subtitles from TV shows can help you learn how people speak naturally, with all the small expressions and informal language that textbooks often miss. If you want to be an active reader, try reading with a pencil or notebook. You can underline new words, highlight useful phrases, or write short notes about what you've read. This helps your brain remember information better and gives you something to review later. You can also write down interesting sentences or expressions and try using them in your own speaking or writing. The more you interact with what you read, the more it sticks in your memory. Reading aloud is another useful technique, especially if you want to improve both reading and speaking at the same time. When you read aloud, you're training your pronunciation, mouth muscles, and listening skills. You become more aware of how words sound and how sentences flow, even if there's no one listening. This practice builds confidence and helps you feel more comfortable using English out loud. You don't have to limit yourself to traditional books or classroom materials. There are so many forms of English, reading available now. Online articles, ebooks, blogs, social media posts, recipes, product reviews, and more. Choose topics you're genuinely interested in. If you love travel, read travel blogs. If you're interested in science or business, read those topics. When you care about what you're reading, it feels less like study and more like discovery. The joy of understanding something new in English makes you want to keep going. And that motivation is key to lasting progress. The more you read, the more connected you become to the language. You start to notice not just individual words, but how ideas are expressed. You understand tone, intention, and style. You begin to think in English, and that mental shift is what creates fluency. Fluency in English is not built in a day, and it's not reserved for the most talented or the youngest learners. It is earned by those who commit to consistent practice, those who speak even when they're unsure, read even when it's challenging, and write even when they make mistakes. Every time you choose to use English, you take one step closer to mastery. Don't let fear or doubt silence your voice. The path to fluency is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Speak boldly, read widely, write freely, and watch yourself become the confident English speaker you've always wanted to be.